For decades, quite a number of us were sold a lie. Buy a house, build equity. But in 2025, that dream has mutated into a nightmare for numerous locations around Australia. Across the country, thousands of families are quietly drowning. They aren't just cutting back on coffee. They are missing repayments. They are selling their cars. And soon, they will lose their homes. I've analysed the latest data from both S&P Global and Moody's combined. The numbers are a worry. We've found the top 10 locations in Australia where mortgage stress has resulted in forced sales. Additional property for sale results in more buyer choice. More buyer choice results less competition. Less competition per house results in a retraction of price. This then spreads like wildfire to the next suburb and then the next. And here is the scariest part. New data suggests a massive wave of listings is about to hit the market in 2026. When desperate sellers compete for the same buyers' values plummet. When choice explodes, negotiating power shifts entirely to buyers. In this video, we are flying into the top 10 suburbs with the highest mortgage delinquency rates right now. We will look at the exact numbers, the real property data, the supply trends that nobody is talking about. First, let's look at the battlefield. The Reserve Bank has held rates, and RBA Governor Michelle Bullock is facing mounting criticism for it. While American and European central banks have cut rates, Bullock has held firm. According to research from Digital Finance Analytics, mortgage stress is no longer just a risk. It is a reality. And families are paying the price for the RBA's stubborn stance. Households are spending more than they earn. Savings buffers, gone. Credit cards, maxed out. According to Moody's ratings' latest data from mid-2025, mortgage delinquency rates have grown across most areas in the country. Each state and territory recorded an increase in mortgage delinquency rates. Victoria hit 2.47% and New South Wales 1.81%. These are what experts call mortgage prisoners. They can't refinance. They can't sell for a profit. They are trapped. And here's where the political pressure gets intense. Albanese's government is under fire from multiple directions. Critics point to record immigration levels, bringing in over 500,000 people in the last year, while housing construction hasn't kept pace. More people, same housing stock. That's a recipe for disaster. The housing crisis is becoming the defining issue heading into the next election. And mortgage prisoners in these stressed suburbs, they're angry and they vote. The data shows a clear trend. The pain isn't distributed equally. It is concentrated in the outer growth corridors, the places where young families moved for affordability. That affordability was a trap. Before we count down the list, you need to understand the supply tsunami. Right now, across these stressed suburbs, something critical is happening. Properties are sitting on the market longer. Days on market are climbing. Inventory is building. And here's what that means. More supply equals more choice for buyers. More choice equals lower prices. When you have 1,740 properties for sale in one suburb instead of 800, buyers have options. When properties sit for 75 days instead of 40, vendors get desperate. When distressed sellers are forced to list at the same time as new completions hit, that's when the market breaks. And the government knows this is coming. Housing Minister Claire O'Neil has been scrambling to announce new initiatives, but critics say it's too little, too late. The damage is already done. Let's count them down. From number 10 to the number 1 worst spot in the country. Number 10, Blacktown, New South Wales. A consistent entry on stress watch lists. According to S&P Global Ratings data, arrears in Western Sydney suburbs remain elevated. Blacktown is the canary in the coal mine for Sydney. Cost of living pressures here are eating up incomes. But here's what the property data reveals. According to REA Group, the median listing price is $980,000. Houses are taking 53 days to sell. That's up from 29 days just months ago. Stock on market has increased 2.46% year on year. Do you see the pattern forming when mortgage prisoners are forced to sell and properties are already taking nearly 2 months to move? That's not a healthy market. That's a market under pressure. These are Labor heartland seats. When Western Sydney hurts, Labor loses elections. Number 9, Melton South, Victoria. According to S&P Global Ratings, Melton South shows arrears rates between 1.59% and 1.7%. This area was sold as the affordable option for Melburnians. But affordability has vanished. Commuting costs are high, and now equity is stalling. The supply picture here is beginning to shift. Inventory is building. And when inventory builds in an outer suburb with limited job opportunities, buyers know they have power. Number 8, Bateau Bay, New South Wales. This was a surprise entry. According to data cited by industry analysts, coastal areas are now showing signs of stress. This isn't an outer suburb estate. This is a coastal lifestyle location. It proves that mortgage stress isn't just for first home buyers. It's hitting sea changers who overextended to leave the city. People who bought million-dollar properties with tiny deposits. Now those properties are underwater and there's no equity to refinance. Number 7, Point Cook, Victoria. Point Cook is a massive suburb. Tens of thousands of families. Many are on dual incomes, but they are servicing massive debts. Here's where the data gets brutal. There are currently 2,780 properties for sale in Point Cook, according to realestate.com.au. Days on market has jumped to 75 days, up 15.4% from last year. Think about that. Properties that used to sell in 6 weeks are now taking 11 weeks. Why? Because buyers have choice. Because supply is overwhelming demand. And because every week a property sits on the market, the vendor's negotiating position weakens. One job loss here triggers a catastrophe. And with that much supply on the market, it triggers a domino effect. Number 6, Cambridge Gardens, New South Wales. According to S&P Global Ratings, nearby Berkshire Park recorded 2.2% arrears in the September quarter. This is deep in the mortgage belt of Western Sydney. The scary part? Listings here are already starting to creep up. People are trying to get out before the bank forces them out. This is the leading indicator everyone should be watching. When homeowners in distressed areas start listing before they're in default, that's panic selling. 2026 supply wave and political firestorm. Before we reveal the top 5, we need to talk about 2026. Because this isn't just an economic crisis anymore, it's a political crisis. According to Domain's latest property price forecast report, the market is changing. They explicitly note that building approvals have risen, with the Australian Bureau of Statistics reporting dwelling approvals up 4.4% in September. Think about supply and demand. Right now, prices are holding up because supply has been limited. But in 2026, that new supply hits. At the same time, the distressed sellers from this top 10 list will be forced to sell. Data from property analysts suggests a rise in listings is imminent. More houses. With all that said, international migration is an all-time high. They need housing. It could be a case of new migrants buying out old migrants. And here's where the political blame game explodes. The Albanese government is trapped. If property prices decline, millions of homeowners lose equity and turn on the government. But if prices stay high, Australians remain locked out and turn on the government. It's a no-win scenario. Add to that the negative gearing debate. Critics say Australia's tax system rewards property investors over first home buyers. Negative gearing costs the budget billions. But any government that touches it gets destroyed at the ballot box, so nothing changes. Let's get back to the list. Number 5, Casula, New South Wales. According to S&P Global Ratings, Casula recorded an arrears rate of 2.27% in the September quarter. That is more than double the New South Wales state average of 0.92%. Cassala has seen huge price growth, but the debt hangover is real. The listing data shows properties taking longer to sell. Vendor discounting is increasing. When properties start selling below their listing price by 5%, then 7%, then 10%, that becomes the new normal. Number 4, Narra, Victoria. This is a retail and family hub, but the retail spending is drying up and the mortgage payments are piling up. According to Moody's ratings analysis, Melbourne is a particular weak spot for delinquency rates, with 14 of the 20 suburbs with the highest rates in Australia located in the Victorian capital. When retail spending drops in an area, employment follows. That creates more mortgage defaults, more forced sales, more supply. It's a vicious cycle. Number 3, Pakenham, Victoria. According to S&P Global Ratings data, Pakenham recorded 2.41% of loans in arrears during the September quarter. It occupies third position nationally. Pakenham is a beautiful area, but it is too far from high-paying jobs. Residents are spending hours commuting and thousands on interest. Here's the supply story that's a worry. There are currently 792 properties for sale in Pakenham. The median listing price is $650,000, and properties are taking an average of 92 days to sell. 92 days. That's 3 months. That's a property sitting vacant while the vendor bleeds mortgage repayments, rates, insurance, and maintenance. When buyers know there are 792 properties to choose from, they lowball. They negotiate hard. They walk away if the price isn't right, because they know there are many other options. Number 2, Baulkham Hills, New South Wales. And this is the shocker. According to S&P Global Ratings, Baulkham Hills recorded an arrears rate of 2.48% in the September quarter. This is a desirable area. It's not a cheap suburb. This proves that high-income earners may be in trouble too. Big mortgages mean big repayments, and Baulkham Hills is breaking. The property data is stunning. There are currently 1,740 properties for sale in Baulkham Hills. That includes 1,121 houses. Properties are selling in just 28 days on average, which sounds fast. It's a watch this space at the moment. Number 1, Craigieburn, Victoria. It's still Craigieburn, Victoria. According to S&P Global Ratings, Craigieburn sits atop the rankings, with approximately 1 in every 33 mortgage holders running behind schedule. That's roughly 3.03% of loans in arrears. Craigieburn is the epicentre of the crisis. Thousands of homes built in the last 5 years. Thousands of loans written at 2% interest. Now, the reality of higher rates has destroyed household budgets. And here's the supply crisis nobody is discussing. There are currently over 1,800 properties listed for sale in the Craigieburn area. Same as Point Cook, it's a big suburb. Properties are taking 37 to 41 days to sell. That's not bad. However, according to property data, vendor discounting is running at negative 6.1%. That means sellers are accepting offers more than 6% below their asking price just to exit. The median house price is $676,000, down from $695,000 months ago. That's a price drop of nearly 3%. Imagine what happens when supply doubles in 2026. This is Victoria. Daniel Andrews is gone, but his housing policy legacy remains. Premier Jacinta Allen is scrambling to solve a crisis that's been decades in the making. Too many people, not enough homes, and families in Craigieburn are paying the price. Conclusion: Craigieburn, Baulkham Hills, Pakenham, Point Cook, these are the danger zones. If you're keen on buying in these areas, just be wary. According to Moody's ratings analyst, Erin Kitson, there is quite a close connection between mortgage performance and residential price appreciation. If listings increase as various analysts predict, competition will be fierce. You do not want to be selling when everyone else is forced to sell. You do not want to be competing with new apartment completions. You do not want to be in a market where buyers have 2,000 properties to choose from. The politicians know what's going on. The RBA knows. The banks know. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next update. 2026 is going to be a historic year for Australian real estate and a defining year for Australian politics. Make sure you are on the right side of history.